Hello, hello, hello. Uh, wait a minute. Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's day is going well. I want to discuss the Shanquella Robertson case. This is my part 5. And I wanted to discuss some of the information I heard about Nancy Grace. And I'm going to tell you who she is before I play the videos. Um, I love Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace is an American legal commentary and TV journalist. She's hosted HLN. She was on there from 2005 to 2016. She did a lot of court TV closing argument cases. And she did that from 1996 to 2007. She's wrote several books. Um, she was also a former prosecutor in the Atlanta Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Office. So she was a former prosecutor, um, and she frequently discussed a lot of issues of victims. And so that's what she pretty much does. She's very powerful in wanting justice for victims. And so now I wanted to go over some information I have found out. Um, I'm like, is this young lady going to get justice? And so what I'm going to do is play video that Nancy Grace was on talking uh, in the Shaquilla Robinson case.
You for hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like or subscribe button, please do so. If this is your first time coming by the channel, we're glad that you stopped by. And let us know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. What I wanted to do right now, you guys, was kind of go into this updated interview that Nancy Grace has done talking about the Shanquella Robinson case. Because if you pay attention, it's going back to everything that I have been telling you guys from day one. And they just keep, like they changing the narrative and stuff, like they said. And I'm finna play it for y'all. Case closed. It's on Mexican authorities. When have we ever gotten anything from Mexico? It's a lot of key things that she said in this interview that's going back to what we've been saying over at One Life. Okay. So I want to kind of go into bits and pieces of it and speak on it and let y'all hear what's going on. Cause like I say, they still gotta get and it's a lot. It's a lot. But check it out, One Life family. Let me know what you think.
Told media that an arrest warrant was issued for the crime of femicide, the killing of a woman because of her gender. But you told me off air, Irv Brandt, I was telling you this whole scenario, how angry I was, nothing had been done. I talked to Shanquella's mother and her sister. They're grieving and they're mourning and they're angry all at the same time. I told you about it, and you said, I've done a million of these. I guarantee you it's Mexico. It ain't us.
100%.
Explain why you said that, because I hadn't thought of it that way. I have been 3 inches up these people's tailpipes where these women we think are hiding. 3 inches, calling, emailing. Why aren't you making an arrest? Why aren't you doing extradition? And when you said that, it all crystallized. It's not us. I'm betting it's not us. I agree with you. It's Mexico. When do we ever get a darn thing out of Mexico? Nothing.
Nancy, this goes on all over the world. And let me tell you, I spent years at International in the Office of International Affairs and Interpol.
It sounds terrible.
And I would travel halfway around the world. I would fly to Manila or I'd fly to Bangkok or wherever for a single meeting, because OIA would send me, and they would tell me, Irv, we think you're the only one that can do it. We need you to go to Manila. We need you to talk with the Minister of Justice and ask them to get the paperwork in order for the extradition.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting on this, just like we're waiting on this case. And I'd fly to the other side of the world and go and talk to the minister, who called me by my first name and had for years. And we would sit down and discuss the case. And just like this case, it would be two Americans who are no longer in the country, and they have issued a warrant, so they consider the case closed. They consider the case closed. They consider the case closed. And they have issued a warrant, so they consider the case closed. They're not interested in extraditing.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm trying to take in what you're saying. So basically, once Mexico issues the arrest warrant, they're like, hey, it's on the U.S.
Closed.
Now listen to this, or I think that you're going to end up turning out to be right. Unlike Mexico and other Latin American countries, the U.S. does not have a law recognizing femicide as any different from homicide. And that doesn't mean that the killings are not deemed a homicide. But in the paperwork application, Mexico needs to charge it not as femicide, but as murder, straight out murder, so we can get, I guarantee you it's Mexico. I do not believe that authorities here would let this go unavenged. I just don't believe it.
No, Nancy, I'm telling you, I used to do this for a living. The Mexican, it's Americans involved. If it was an American killing a Mexican, there would be a lot of pressure on, they'd be doing whatever. They'd re-indict the case, however it was, to bring that person back down to have a trial. These are Americans, and they're gone. And they have issued a warrant. They haven't issued a red notice. They have issued the warrant.
What's a red notice? So basically, tell me, what is a red notice?
It's an international lookout. Let's say these people traveled to another country, left the United States and traveled to another country. And those people could be detained until Mexico. Let's say they went to Jamaica because they know they're wanted for murder in Mexico. And they went to Jamaica and they had red notices. The Jamaicans would detain them until the Mexicans government could bring them over. But since they're Americans, they just, there's no pressure. There's no public outrage. It's
you
not
mean no
high
public
on their
outrage
priority.
in Mexico?
Correct.
So
Correct.
They don't care.
So,
the only one that cares basically
well, I'm not saying they don't care.
Yes, you are.
It's just not a high priority. And what I would do.
That's the same thing.
Yes.
You've got a beautiful dead girl
OIA,
whose mother is crying, whose sister is crying. They're in Huntersville, North Carolina, and I find it very hard to believe that North Carolina authorities are not trying to find these people. But the issue you believe is the extradition papers from Mexico?
Yes, I'm willing to bet on it. Because I would go and have meetings and explain to them the importance, how important it was to the United States. And I basically make a deal. If you submit the paperwork, we'll pay all the costs. We'll pay all the costs of the extraditions to come down. Many times when they'd agree, they'd look at me and say, you owe me now. Okay, I owe you. Understood. That's how it would work. And I did that all over the world.
So Irv Brandt joining me, this is your expertise. What can we do to get justice for Shanquella? I don't know what we can do.
I am confident. Well, it's the pressure, Nancy. It's just the pressure of you keeping it on the front burner. I'm confident that the Office of International Affairs is contacting them continuously, trying to get, the package, for them to get the package done. So these people,
What package? What are you saying?
It's what the Mexican government has to submit to the Office of International Affairs all their documents, all the probable cause, the video, things like this, all the legal documents for OIA to assign it to an AUSA to, work it up
An
for an
assistant
extradition
U.S.
warrant.
attorney. I mean, even the governor in North Carolina has weighed in. It's Governor Roy Cooper said his thoughts are with the family of a Charlotte woman who died in October on vacation. And where she was on vacation is a hop, jump, and a skip down from all the stars and the celebrities go to at Cabo. I always see Jennifer Aniston out there eating chips by the water in Cabo. It's beautiful. That's where they were. He says he's, quote, hopeful the FBI will solve the case of her mysterious death. It's not a mystery, Governor. Just look at the video. We've shown it several times. It makes me sick to look at it. Not knowing what really happened, well, that's a great concern. We know what happened. We all know what happened. Investigators in Mexico say an arrest warrant has been issued, but no suspect named. No one has been apprehended. And this was very recently. So what is the holdup? So, Irv, can you give it to me in a bullet? Hit me. What can we do? What can be done? I mean, the governor, God bless him, is saying, gee, I hope it all turns out okay. We need a little bit more than well wishes, Irv Brandt.
Short version.
Yes.
The United States cannot arrest on a foreign government's arrest warrant. The United States can only arrest on an extradition warrant issued out of U.S. District Court. And the only way for that to happen is the Mexican government has to submit an extradition request to the Department of Justice Office of International Affairs. Until they do that,
you just said the U.S. government has to do it. I thought the Mexican government would do it.
No. The Mexican government must submit an extradition request to the Department of Justice Office of International Affairs so an extradition warrant can be issued out of U.S. District Court.
Okay.
Until the Mexican government does that, the U.S. cannot do anything about it.
And it's got to be on a charge that we will extradite on.
Under the treaty.
We're not obviously not recognizing femicide. It doesn't come under the treaty, so it's got to be homicide. The U.S. State Department number, if you want your voice to be heard, is 888-407-4747. Repeat, 888-407-4747. We want justice for Shanquella. Goodbye.
Okay. And so, with that being said, it's something to think about. What can be done to bring justice for Shanquella? My heart breaks for this young lady. And it does that because my daughter's about her age, so I can imagine what the mother is going through. But I do know they may be waiting on Mexico. And if Mexico does not do what they're supposed to do, then these people could actually walk. But then, too, the United States can intervene and bring charges. And so I brought up another video where I found that the U.S. could definitely bring charges. So let me see. Oh, where is it at? I'll do something.
Hyundai Santa Fe versus Honda Passport. Hyundai Santa Fe wins every time.
Let me see. Wait 1 second.
While we wait for arrest to be made for the death of Shanquella Robinson, wondering if the United States would be able to prosecute the case, even though Robinson's death happened in Mexico. Wake Up Let's Megan Bragg verifies.
This is a question a lot of people have been asking because when there is normally, but what if it happened overseas, but it involves two Americans? So the question, if a crime happened in a different country, can the United States still prosecute? Let's verify. Our source is Gary Monty, attorney and partner at Monty PLLC in the United States Code of Federal Regulations, or CFR. This is the United States Code we will be examining. It states a person being a national of the United States kills or attempts to kill a national of the United States. Such a national is outside the United States, but within the jurisdiction of another country, shall be punished.
The statute expressly empowers our federal government to arrest, prosecute American citizens who have been involved in the murder of another American citizen overseas.
So by just looking at the statute, we can verify that, yes, it is possible for the United States to prosecute even if a crime happened in another country, but only if it's a crime involving Americans. However, there are some hoops to jump through in order to do this.
There's got to be written approval of the American United States Attorney General. And so it has to be looked at and approved by the Department of Justice.
That's the first hoop. The second, Monty says, the United States can't prosecute a crime if the same charge has already been adjudicated in a country that has jurisdiction.
If the foreign country has already prosecuted someone for the same conduct and the same type of crime, then the statute would not allow the United States to prosecute the individual again.
However, the United States could prosecute for other crimes associated with the main offense. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Wow. Now that was powerful. From looking at that video, to me, that was very powerful. That lets me know that the United States can prosecute them, the Cabo Six, for killing Shanquella Robinson. They can be prosecuted. It may be some hoops they got to jump through, but that makes me wonder, where is the FBI in this case? Nancy Grace has done a remarkable job. She's very powerful. And so here we go again. Nancy Grace likes to expose the criminals. This, according to Nancy Grace, this was planned. A mob attack on Shanquella. And I wanted to go over, why was it planned? The reason we came up that it was planned is because videos had surfaced before they even got the young lady's body. Videos had surfaced back over here in the United States discussing what had happened. I'm thinking they had probably planned this going down, what they were going to do to Shanquella. Shanquella is 25 years old. This incident happened October the 29th. The Cabo Six were all friends. Police records say that Shanquella friends gave conflicting accounts of her death. The friends said that it was alcohol poisoning, but an autopsy showed that her neck was injured and that she died 15 minutes after her neck was injured. And this where one of the ladies, I'm hearing Winifred Donovan, slammed her and broke her neck. but all of them had been sending videos back over here where they were fighting her. The video surfaced after Robinson's death that appeared to show Robinson uh, being beaten, and one of the voices saying, telling her was she gonna fight back. We now know who that was. One of the gentlemen. Mexico's authorities and the FBI are investigating the case. Mexico issued a warrant to extradite uh, one of Robinson's traveling companions. The U.S. Department of Justice and the Secretary of State will make a decision on whether the extradition will be allowed. And they're saying no arrest has been made. So I'm assuming that it's this case, as far as the United States go, is still in the Secretary of State hand. So I feel like people need to put pressure on the Secretary of State for them to make a decision for the Cabo Six to be, uh, they need to be locked up. So now we know if the Secretary of State, then that's where you need to be contacting the Secretary of State. Um, and yes, Shanquella Robinson case can be heard and prosecuted right here in the United States. These are the six, the Cabo Six that betrayed her, went on the trip to Mexico. That's why, and took her life. Be careful of the people you call your friends, because everybody that smiles in your face ain't your friend. Everybody that sit down and eat lunch with you every day or call you on the phone and y'all hang out, that doesn't mean they're your true friends. Be careful who we call your friend. Um, these are the six Cabo. They went on the trip. All of them participated in taking her life. She was educated. She had her own business. She was on her way to being very successful. And for some reason, I feel, this is my opinion, jealousy fell into play. Somebody was saying it was due to a PPP loan. She got hers and succeeded. She didn't have to pay it back. They allowed hers to be as a grant. But her friend had to pay his back. Did he get jealous? Sure, he did. That's a no brainer. Oftentimes, uh, we can like somebody, and if you're not careful, it returns into jealousy, and jealousy turns into hate, and you end up hating a person that you shouldn't even hate because they haven't done anything to you. Was it over her succeeding, her making more money than them? Uh, I say yes, it's a possibility. Somebody got jealous, several people got jealous, and I think they plotted and they took her life. Because even after she passed away, who give you the right to go and sit down with her mom and sister and dad and eat lunch? As if y'all didn't take this girl life, but you're gonna go in their home and sit down and bring her luggage back and like, oh, she just died from alcohol poisoning. Uh, this was definitely not right. Definitely not right. Um, I hope that justice is served. I hope that they bring all six of them to justice, and you should be punished according to the crime you committed. I'm going to, I hope justice is found. At least we know, and I'm going to repeat that again, that Mexico has to send information in order for the FBI to extradite them back. Even if they don't want to extradite them back, I think they still have to get some type of paperwork from Mexico wherein the United States can prosecute them. And I think now they're pretty much saying it's in the Secretary of State will make the decision on whether to extradite them or to prosecute them here. Why things going so slow, I have no clue. I guess people need to put more pressure on the Secretary of State as well as Mexico in order to keep pushing for justice for Aquila. Everybody have a great day. Leave your comments. Like if you like what I do, subscribe to my channel. I enjoy going over different topics and trying to bring some type of understanding as why somebody may have done what they did in some cases. Um, but I do say hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and definitely leave me a comment. I enjoy reading y'all comments. I enjoy what I do. All right. Have a great day.